Hi, I'd like to share my webinar presentation on the UK Global Talent Visa appeals. Now, this is something that can happen to you if you have already submitted an application for endorsement for exceptional talent or promise, and this is only for the UK Global Talent Visa in digital technologies. And if you have received an unsuccessful result, I'm very sorry to hear that, and this is a webinar presentation just for you, so you can decide, and I can help you decide what to do next and the process in which you can go through if you decide to appeal. So I'd like to give you a contents about this presentation. It hopefully should take about 20 minutes to 30 minutes. I'll go through about myself. I'll go through if you have an unsuccessful decision, what to do. I'll go through the appeals process, the forms, your options, some of my top tips, and how I can help you. So my name is Michelle Hewer. I am Australian Vietnamese. I am a UK Global Talent Visa coach. In 2016, I received the endorsement for exceptional talent, and I became the TECHNATIONVISA ambassador. The reason why I was an ambassador back then, I'm not now, is because when I applied in 2016, there weren't many people that received the Global Talent Visa. I was one of the top 50 actually that received it, and then I became the ambassador because they needed people to help share their story and to help share the story about how to go on and get your UK Global Talent Visa yourself. The great thing about this visa is that it leads to settlement in the UK. So after 3 years in 2019, I received my indefinite leave to remain. And I also became a British citizen as well as a result of being a recipient for the Global Talent Visa. I've been in the UK for the last 7 years. I was based in Manchester, London, and Newcastle. So they were all very different ecosystems. But the one thing that they had in common was that it was an extremely collegial environment. I met so many fantastic people when I ran my startup there. I was a tech entrepreneur. I'm also a former Australian solicitor as well. So before I moved to the UK, I was on an entrepreneur's visa with my startup. I worked as a lawyer, a property lawyer in Australia. So quit my job, became a tech entrepreneur, and went on to get this visa. Now, how this all started was I wrote a blog about my own journey. It became viral, and I helped so many people over the years on how to secure the endorsement and went on to get their visa. So I've helped over 500 tech entrepreneurs, senior execs, and tech employees. My success rate is 90%. My clients have received a successful result within 3 to 24 hours of submitting, and love doing what I do. I don't have my startup anymore. I do this full time. So now I am a UK Global Talent Visa coach. My clients include people who work for big companies, tech companies, WhatsApp, Sony, Facebook, LinkedIn, startups, CTOs, CEOs, UX designers, graduates, digital marketers, cybersecurity experts, product managers, marketers, and the list goes on and on. I've helped so many different people. Everyone has a different story, and this is why I love doing what I do. Just a quick disclaimer, I only help with stage 1 endorsements, and I'm not affiliated with the Home Office or TechNation. I help people with their applications for endorsement. I also help people who need to appeal and have received unsuccessful decisions by the assessors. Over the years, as a tech entrepreneur, I have been featured in many magazines and publications. As you can see here, I'm quoted in books. I've been in the Sunday Times. I talk on panels. I'm a speaker. So this is something that I showed for leadership under the leadership criteria, because this is the type of thing that they want you to show in your application. Here is the blog that I started. It's on my website. So if you wanted to read my story, it's there. It's how it all started with my with one blog, and it tells of my journey in getting my endorsement for exceptional talent. And this is the blog that went viral. Just a quick slide about the stats about the Global Talent Visa. There's loads of different applicants from different countries. There's 90+ countries that people are coming from. The main countries are USA, India, Nigeria, Canada, and Russia. Unfortunately, the endorsement rate is only 54%. My success rate is 90%, so it is quite high, and it's because I've been through the process. I've helped loads of people over the years, and I understand what you're going through, and I know how to set up your documents and evidence. There's been about 1,700 successful recipients over the years. There used to be a cap on endorsements, but there isn't anymore. So whoever applies could potentially get it. You can apply for talent or promise, and there's a 68-32% split, so more people applying for talent than promise, but it doesn't really matter. It just depends on how many years experience you have. There's a 75-25 split on male to female. I do know that there are less females than males working in the tech sector. I do advocate for females working in the tech sector. I was one, a female entrepreneur. Not many of us, but it doesn't mean that you can't apply. It's just these are the stats. So I am a huge advocate for women in tech. And once you are endorsed and you get your visa, you can join the TECHNATIONVISA alumni, which I'm a part of. And basically, it's everyone who's been endorsed who want to join the community and meet people in London or around the UK on to help with their startups, or just having a nice network, because you've all been through the process, and it's a very stressful one, but it's really nice to meet others who've gone through that journey too. So these are just some of the stats of endorsements. As you can see, it's a huge difference between different countries. China, there's 86% success, US 74, Canada 63. Unfortunately, Nigeria has a 30% endorsement rate, and these are in 2020. For me, though, I help a lot of Nigerian clients. I help a lot of Indian clients as well. I help a lot of different clients, but particularly in Nigeria, I've helped a lot. Last year, my success rate for my Nigerian clients was 100%. Basically, everyone I helped from Nigeria received the endorsement, but my overall endorsement rate is 90%. So I do understand it's the way you structure your evidence. You are eligible, but sometimes it's the way you structure your evidence that really makes a huge difference, and I help with that. As you can see on the right here, there's different skills that have been endorsed. Obviously, it's a tech visa, so people with software engineering skills, there's a higher endorsement rate there. But there's people with business skills as well who can be endorsed, and that's there. Data scientists, there's a lot of people from Nigeria who have data scientist skills. So this is a big one that's coming up: AI, machine learning, even marketing operations as well. They're getting endorsed as well, so that's there. Now, you're probably here because you have received feedback from the assessor, and now we're going straight into the appeals process if you want to go forward. But usually what happens is you will get, after you've submitted, the assessor has up to 8 weeks to provide a response, that it's yes, you've been endorsed, or no, you haven't been endorsed, and here is the feedback. So you probably would have received this if you've received an unsuccessful decision, and it's like a checklist, really. I know this checklist. I make sure that all my clients that I work with, we go through and make sure that you hit each criteria, and this is what the assessors will assess you based on. So this obviously is a yes or no. So you can meet all but one criteria, which makes you unsuccessful. You can not meet any of them, which will also make you unsuccessful, or you are, you've not met all of them, but some of them, but it doesn't really matter. You have to meet all of them in order to be successful. So this is the important bit here, and that is the reasons for an unsuccessful decision. So this is the what you would read and what you would answer if you were to appeal. And it's really important, because this is where you would either say that the assessor made a mistake based on their reasons here. I have a lot of people who do ask that if they're unsuccessful in all the criteria, the likelihood of them being successful on the appeal is less. Yes and no, it really depends on your evidence. So I wouldn't look at it to say, look, I've been unsuccessful for all the criteria, so the likelihood of me being successful in the appeal is 0. It isn't. I would like to say it goes to another assessor, and another assessor reviews your application and the feedback and your appeal. So they may agree or they may disagree, but it depends on your evidence that you submitted and your argument as to why you feel that the initial assessor made a mistake. So don't be too disheartened, and don't use that as a hard and fast rule. The answer is it really does depend. So these are your options if you do get an unsuccessful decision. This has come off the website, the TECHNATION website. You can apply for a review, which means TECHNATION will reconsider your application, and the decision that follows this is final. So basically what they're saying is, number 1 is you can appeal the decision. The second option is you can reapply again through the same route, which allows you to add new evidence, and you'll have to pay the fee again. So you can say, look, I'm not going to appeal. I've got the feedback from the assessor. I know what I did wrong, or I don't really think I should appeal. Let's just resubmit using the feedback that they have given me, and I will try again. The third option is don't even go back and resubmit or appeal, just look for another route. In other words, let's look for another visa that you can apply for. So those are your options. You've got 3 there. Let's go through. Okay, so this is the official guidance here about, or the guidelines from TECHNATION about your unsuccessful endorsement applications. If it's unsuccessful and you think that it's a mistake, you can ask them to review. Okay. These are their recommendations. The review allows you to identify any mistakes in processing your application. It shouldn't be used to only argue against the unsuccessful decision. So yeah, if it's processed, then that can be one part of the argument, but you really need to basically say they made a mistake. You need to keep your arguments very clear, very concise as possible, because you only have a small amount of room. So don't waffle, just say what the result was and why you think they made a mistake, and point to the evidence in your application. Here, focus on the contents on your review on any mistakes. Submitting complex or excessive amounts of information is unlikely to strengthen. You couldn't really anyway, because the box they give you is very small, so you couldn't make it too complex. Just get to the point is what they're saying. You cannot submit new evidence. You can only point to the evidence that's already submitted. And this is why some people just think, okay, I didn't put enough information in, so I'm not going to appeal. I'm going to resubmit and put in new evidence. And this is usually what happens if you want to resubmit and not appeal. You can't change your original application, so carefully consider whether the mistake you have identified will change the outcome. So that's another reason why sometimes it might not be worth appealing, because if you can't put new evidence and what you've submitted may or may not change the outcome, so you might just resubmit rather than appeal. So these are some of the recommendations. Basically, overall, mistakes can happen. Assessors can make mistakes. I know it's very disappointing if they do, but it does happen. This is why the appeal process is there. It should be clear and concise, focus on their mistakes, no new evidence is allowed, convince the new assessor why the first assessor made a mistake. I know, again, they shouldn't have made the mistake, but this is your chance to say, this is the mistake and these are why, and it's already in my application, they missed it or something like that, but we'll go through that now. So these are the benefits of appealing. Remember, you have 3 options. You can appeal, or you can resubmit, or you can go for the other visa route, but we won't go there. We'll just say, okay, you can appeal or you can resubmit. The benefits of appealing, okay, is that if there is a mistake, this is a chance for another assessor to review your application, okay, and they can either say yes or no, right? Or they can give you further feedback so that you can use that to resubmit your second application. So sometimes there is no harm in appealing, if only just to get more feedback. But what you really want, obviously, is the second assessor to reassess and say, yes, you are successful. That's what you really want. But plan B is maybe you can get further feedback to strengthen your second application. And the great thing is that there is no further fee for appealing. So what you will lose is time, because you have 28 calendar days to respond to the decision, and then they have 28 calendar days in which to come back with a decision. So time, it's really 2 months that you will potentially lose. If you do seek my services, obviously I do charge a fee, so that's that. But essentially, if you were to do it yourself, the only cost to you is time, really, and obviously energy in appealing. But the alternative is that the new assessor could potentially make a completely new decision. So they can disagree with something that the first assessor decided that that you met one criteria, but the second assessor may say that you didn't meet that criteria. So they could completely change, the first assessor's decision in that regard. You have a deadline of 28 calendar days. And will your appeal really change the outcome, or will your time be better spent looking at making a fresh application? And this is where I say you've lost potentially 2 months. Sometimes I do advise my client, look, appealing won't actually change the outcome. Let's resubmit using the feedback that they've given you, and then we can focus all our efforts and attention on the new application. So it's also like a balancing act. You decide. I could certainly help you in deciding that, but obviously I'll have to look at your application. So this is how to appeal. This is the form. As I said, it's a form that you fill out. I don't help with filling out this form, but I will help with the content when you do appeal, because there's a lot of personal information which I would prefer you to do. But if you do want my help, I can certainly help you with the content which is in this part of it. So this box is limited. So you will need to, I'll help you with the content, and you will obviously put the content in the boxes and then send the application for appeal. So the first box is you will have to enter the assessor's reason. So remember, in the assessor's feedback, there was a box that the assessor would state their reasons for the unsuccessful decision. So you will split that out. If there are, if there's 3 criteria and you didn't meet all 3, then you would obviously have to respond to all 3. But if you've met 2 criteria, but you haven't met 1 criteria, then it was only really 1 criteria that you need to address there. So the first box is enter the assessor's reasons. So just do a copy and paste. And then the second box here is state why you feel you met the criteria. This box is really small. And then again, if there's another reason that the assessor is given, put it here and then state your case here. So it's very structured. Just follow the boxes and enter your reasons there. And then part 3 is you obviously need to sign, and then you can submit your form. Okay. So I do get a lot of common questions when people come to me to ask, should I appeal? Should I get help in drafting my appeal? Because obviously I have to review your application, and then you can decide to do it yourself, or you can ask for my help. Will you have enough time to appeal? Again, a lot of people that I help are either in another country, so time is not of the essence, but some people are already in the country. They've got a visa that is expiring, and we discuss if they have enough time to appeal, or do they just resubmit. So this time sometimes is of the essence. Sometimes I do get clients to say, look, it's so clear, my evidence is there, how can the assessor made a mistake? And yes, sometimes these things happen, and we just have to address that. Unfortunately, I've helped some clients that it's so clear that the assessor made a mistake, caused so much stress and anxiety for my client, but it's done. That's what the appeal is for. So I help them with the appeal, and they are successful, which is great news. But these things do happen. There's 28 calendar days to appeal and 28 calendar days to get a decision. Check the timing of your visa expiry as well. If If it's quite complicated, obviously I will refer you to an immigration solicitor for advice, because if it hinges on another visa application, we'll discuss it. But obviously I will refer any immigration advice and legal advice to an immigration solicitor to help you through that. And then you can come back and we can start your appeal if that is an option for you. So having worked with a lot of clients over the years, these are my top tips. If you're going through this process, you need to break down each feedback so you can answer them separately. You need to go through your documents again to see if you can use them to answer the assessor's feedback. Because as I said, sometimes, think about it, the assessor is probably reading about 45 pages of your evidence. They may have missed certain things, or you haven't stated it as clearly, but in your appeal, this is your opportunity to say, well, look, here it is. I have fulfilled the criteria and this is my evidence, and point to it. Don't be afraid to reiterate or repeat the content in your documents, but obviously keep it short, sharp, and concise, and be mindful of space limitations and deadline to appeal as well. So as you can see, the box is really small. Count how many days you've got to submit your appeal. Speak to me as soon as you get it, please do, because time is of the essence. As soon as you get your result, your 28 calendar days start. And I obviously take at least 5 working days to work with you, or longer, depending on my schedule. So contact me, or if you need support from somewhere else, just find support as soon as possible, so that you will be within the deadline, because the deadline does start, and they are very strict with that as well. I have a blog about appeals as well, in addition to this video. My blog is on my website, so I'll put the link in the comment section below, so you can click on that to read it. But hopefully this video will help you with your appeal. So these are some of my successful clients who I've helped in the appeals process. I don't help some of them, obviously. These are the ones that I don't help with their application. They've come to me because they've worked on their application themselves, and I try to turn the decision around. As I said, my success rate is 90%. So I don't usually get appeals, but the appeals that I do get are from people who have done the application themselves, or they've sought advice from a solicitor or consultant, and it's been unsuccessful, and they come to me for help. They've said, thanks for your help. Their appeal has been successful and the endorsement has just been confirmed. They're highly grateful. Great news, they got the endorsement for exceptional promise. Thank you so much for everything. You've made the process and experience so much better and easier, because it is a very stressful process. I know what it's like. Obviously, I haven't been through the process myself, but I've helped so many of my clients through this, and it is very stressful. I've been through the process and I know how it feels, and if I were to get an unsuccessful result, I would be extremely devastated, and I would empathize with you, absolutely, because I know how much hard work you put in it. I didn't sleep for 3 months when I did my own application, so if I got an unsuccessful result, I would be extremely disappointed, but I'm here to help. Some clients actually don't believe that their appeal is successful, so they write to me and say, is this right? Yeah, they do send me the result and say, can you just read this and just make sure that I am successful? Because when you are unsuccessful the first time, but then you are successful the second time, sometimes you just have to rub your eyes to make sure that you're reading it correctly, because sometimes the email is not very clear, especially because you're very highly emotional and you're expecting another unsuccessful result. So I do get these lovely emails to say, is this right? Can you just check? And then we have a celebratory Zoom call to celebrate. So yes, I get clients from all sorts of different countries to help in their appeals as well. So how can I help you? First of all, if you need my help, obviously, hopefully this video has helped a little bit, but if you need further help, the first step is to contact me, and I have to review your application and the feedback, and I will discuss with you your options. Okay, that's the first port of call. I can't help you unless I look at your application, and I do charge a fee for that. The second step is, once I've looked at your application and your feedback and I've discussed with you your options, I can draft the appeal for you if we feel like the appeal is going to change the outcome. Or I can work with you and help you resubmit a fresh application. So it depends which way you want to go. The other option is you can do it yourself, which is absolutely fine, but this is particularly how I can help you. If I draft the appeal for you, you obviously have about a 50% chance of getting it or not, because another assessor looks at it. If you are unsuccessful, and that can happen, I mean, I can't guarantee, but I will discuss with you, your options. I can help you resubmit a fresh application. Okay. The great thing, as I say, is if you do appeal and you are unsuccessful, at least you've got more feedback from a second assessor, because we can use both feedback from the first and second to resubmit a fresh application, so we can address everything that they've said. Okay. Obviously, if you are successful, you go through to stage 2, and that's it. But I can help you submit a fresh application. Now, to help you submit a fresh application, I've got some packages there where we can go right to the beginning and we can do a strategy session, and I've got packages of support there, or you can come straight to me and we can work with you, or I can work with you from start to finish. And this is my bespoke coaching package where I will hold your hand throughout the whole process. And to be fair, the strategy session always starts. It's always a strategy session first, because we need to look at your whole application. I need to start from scratch and ask you the right questions, and then redo your whole application, restructure everything. Okay. And then you can go off and do it yourself again if you want to, or a lot of my clients do take my bespoke coaching package if they have been unsuccessful the first time, because usually they've done everything they can and they've realized, yes, they do need some help now, and I will help them with their application. And hopefully this is something that I can help you with. If not, you can see how I can help you. Just take it one step at a time. You don't have to have all the answers and, resubmit straight away. It really does help to discuss your application. I do quite a few of them, and it is an emotional process. But my best advice is just take it one step at a time. Just let me have a look at your application and feedback, and then we can go from there. Okay, so you don't need to make all your decisions straight away. Just start with that at the most. I've got links to my packages of support as well, so you can have a look at that. So that's it really in a nutshell. I do hope that my video has helped you decide what to do. As I said, I help so many people with appeals. Please do come and talk to me. I'm very happy to help you however which way I can throughout this process. And I wish you all the best. And again, I'm very sorry to hear if you have received an unsuccessful result, but there are so many options for you. As I said, 54% of applications aren't endorsed. So there is always a way to resubmit if the assessor's feedback is very clear and that we feel like you have a really good chance of being successful. So all is not lost is what I'm saying, and I do hope that you will contact me to help you through this process. If not, all the best, and hopefully I will see you at some stage. Bye.